Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a get ready with me. I have not done one of these in a very long time, and I actually asked you to give me some topics or questions to talk about on Instagram because I just felt like I was in a chatty mood, but I obviously want to talk about relevant, or well, not relevant, but like things that you want to hear about, and put on a face of makeup. All the tan has worn off my face, so excuse my pale complexion. I am filming in my new office. I'm actually sharing the back room with Dean. This was actually going to be my original filming room, and I changed up because I'm in front of a window, so I've got completely natural light. That's why it's so dark in the background and everything. I'm filming on my G7X as well, so completely different setup. It's probably been a year since I filmed a makeup tutorial, but yeah, things have changed a bit since then, since a year ago, thankfully. Hopefully the setup's okay. I know it's like not the usual nice background and lights and everything like that, but it is what it is. I'm still doing my makeup and talking to you guys, so I don't usually do my makeup in this room. I don't even know what I've got. Using the NYX Angel Veil primer. I've got like a makeup stash in my bathroom. That's where I do my makeup every day. I have one in my wardrobe, but I would never sit down there and do my makeup. Felicity King asks, will you announce baby girl's name before she arrives? You know what's funny is that I saw like some people in the US doing this. I think this might be too dark. Oh yeah, that's way too dark. Golden beige. So this is the photo focus one. I did see, wow, that's really dark. I did see before, like well before we got pregnant, I saw, you know, this has become like a little bit of a trend, I would say in the US, not so much Australia, to announce your baby's name like at the baby shower or something like that beforehand. Quartz Beauty Foundation Buffer brush. Hey guys, Future Me just checking in while editing this video. I currently do have a sale on Quartz Beauty brush sets. So the complete and the essential brush set collections, they have 40% off right now. So I'll have everything linked down below. Just head to quartzbeautyshop.com and the discount applies at checkout. Enjoy. But this brush is just like a lifesaver. But yeah, it's not so much of a thing in Australia to like announce the name before you give birth. At the time when I first saw it happening, like years ago, I said to Dean like, oh, would you want to do that? And I think he said, yeah, like, you know, well, we can think about it. But now it's like, as the time's gone on, it's just like, there's a few reasons why I would want to do it and why I wouldn't do it. Obviously, like we were trying for really long. We did have a couple of names picked, but since we fell pregnant, we picked a brand new one to the list. And I think that that's the one that we'll go with. And I can see why people announce it, because since we realized that we wanted it, we've seen other people have it, not people that we like know, but I can see why people just do it because they're like, we're having that name. I don't know, names are such a tricky thing. Like, honestly, like we've gone back and forth because it's such a big responsibility to name someone for the rest of their life. And it's just like, my name's Crystal. I don't care that my name's Crystal. Dean's name is Dean. Like that's just who he is. My sister, she actually changed her name when she was early 20s or something because she just didn't like her name. And I think that it was something to do with like the name numerology or something like that. She just thought I had like bad juju or something. I have no idea. But like, I don't know that many people who have changed their names in their life. But yeah, to answer your question, no, we don't plan on announcing until she's born. What changes do you have because of COVID with hospital visits, etc.? There's two things. Oh, I don't know if I've got any good concealer. This is an IT Cosmetics concealer. Bye Bye Under Eye and Hello Bright. Only two things that we've had change is the fact that Dean hasn't been able to come along for the last couple of visits, and I have to wear a mask. Yeah, they're not all in person, and we have to call before we go into the antenatal clinic. And that's kind of like it. Like, I mean, I don't know using a concealer buffer brush. I don't know obviously what it's like to not have the restrictions, but like it's been fine. I haven't really been that bothered. The only thing that did upset me was that Dean couldn't come to the ultrasound, and he won't be able to go to a few. Hopefully by, I think 32 weeks, hopefully he can come. How did you never give up TTC? I've been trying for over a year now and it doesn't get easier. Like, I could literally cry. I'm not gonna cry. Honestly, like, it's been... My heart just goes out to you and like anyone. I'm not crying. Lately, I've just been thinking so much about our TTC journey and like how hard it was. And I do want to film like a video on like being pregnant after infertility and just talk about it, talk my feelings out, because these feelings and thoughts that I'm having, they're not going away. And sometimes it's like therapy for me to talk to you guys about it. It's so crazy. Like, I'm sitting here crying about the past and I'm sitting here pregnant. Like, it's so silly. And I don't mean to offend anyone by doing this. It's just that just will never go away, the pain. Let's try this again. So how did I keep going? So our journey was, we started in December 2017, and then I found out that I was pregnant in April 2020. It was just short of 2.5 years, or over 2 years if you want to say, whatever. I'm gonna use this Fit Me powder. There were definitely times where I gave up, and I think I prepared myself for the worst. Worst case scenario is that we could never have biological children. I definitely gave up quite a few times, but I just knew in my heart that I was meant to be a mom. I just knew it, and it's just when you want something that bad, you can't mentally give up on it. I don't know how else to describe it. Like, there are definite days where you don't know how you're going to get through the day. But with the support of Dean and you guys as well, and a few friends, I made it through and I didn't give up. But don't get me wrong, like, I don't think, for those who haven't gone through it, and even like everyone goes through it at a different stage or a different level of it. And like, I mean, I know that there'll be people that had it worse than me, and that people that didn't feel as strongly, or, you know, they weren't as messed up as me. You just don't know how hard it is. And I can see why people want to give up, but when you know that you're meant to be a mum, you just can't. So just think of, I'm not crying, just think of that moment where you'll finally get to hold your baby, you'll get to meet it, you'll get to see the face of who it looks like, and you get to name it and buy clothes for it and decorate a nursery. And like, that's what got me through. Also, what got me through was Penny. She saved me. I don't think I can talk about this anymore, so I just I'm too emotional. Okay, there's two kind of questions that are the same. Have you done any research on introducing dogs to babies, and have you found any good tips, and how do you plan to introduce Penny and Coco to the new baby? I haven't done any research as such, but obviously it will be under strict supervision. I have heard that people bring home, or get their partners, I guess, to bring home some items that the baby's worn, or a blanket or something, and introduce the scent to them first. I have heard that is a really good thing to do, but it is something that I will need to look into. But yeah, definitely strict supervision. I think that Coco's just going to go off and do her own thing, which is fine. I think I've seen this a few times. What are some baby names that you love but won't be using? I'm going to do a video on it. So I've been collecting names that I do love and that I won't use. But then, like, there's a few that I will leave out because I'm like, they're backup kind of names. I don't know, like, I'm just so scared of like meeting her and I'm like, you're not right for this name. I think, like, you just doubt yourself so much. As I said before, naming a baby like a person is a huge deal. When Bub arrives, will you be doing motherhood videos such as routine, breastfeeding, etc.? I haven't thought that far ahead. Like, I mean, I've really enjoyed the pregnancy ones that I've done so far. So I will assume that I'll do ones like that, but I haven't thought of exactly ones. Like, yeah, let me know your favorite ones that you like watching. I haven't decided like how much I want to include the baby or the kids in the content as well. Like, I mean, obviously they will be included to a certain extent, but are you planning on vlogging the birth? I do want to plan on vlogging it, and I'll just have to see how that goes. I don't know how it's gonna go. So I plan on vlogging it and doing one of those like sit down and talking about the birth story as well. Can you discuss the difference between giving birth between a public and private hospital? I can't really, because I've never done either. This is a jouet. Oh my God, no, it's broken. This is like one of my favorite highlights. Damn. But I will say, I know there were a few friends that we talked to about going private, and a lot of them will go private again, or, you know, they wouldn't do it any differently. The ones that went public, they didn't have any problems going public. The main differences by not having experienced either, is that if you go private, you get to deliver in your own room and, well, not deliver, but like you get to stay in your own room, and your room is similar to a hotel room kind of thing. I think it's more likely that your obstetrician births your baby, the one that you have been dealing with. And that's the other thing, like in all of your appointments, you see the same obstetrician, and if you go public, I saw a question one time. Someone asked, how come you've been seeing all these obstetricians or doctors and you're going public? I don't know. Literally, I have no idea. Maybe it's the antenatal clinic, but I have not seen a midwife. I see my first midwife tomorrow, and I'm well into the second trimester. I'm in my 6th month of being pregnant. I don't know. But if you go private, then you see an obstetrician or, you know, the same doctor every time. You're not chopping and changing. But I've seen 3 different doctors. Obviously, after you give birth, you can stay in the hospital for longer. But I don't know how that is going with COVID now anyway. Like, I don't know if they get people out of there any quicker if you're giving birth privately. Because in public, I've heard people going home pretty soon after they give birth. Also, a first-time mum pregnant in Melbourne and Victoria. Are you two feeling ripped off enjoying your pregnancy? Okay, there's a few things. The gender reveal. Obviously, like, I was upset about that. Like, that was something that I really wanted to do, to just like have a little celebration that we're finally pregnant and catch up with people, because I talked about this in a recent update, but like I suffered from self-diagnosed anxiety and depression while TTC, and I didn't see a lot of people. I didn't feel comfortable going to social settings, and I just avoided people, like, literally, because I just didn't want people to ask about like how I was going and things like that. I feel so happy to say that like that's just been shifted. It's been lifted from me, and I just feel so happy. I just feel like every day I'm living in bliss, and I just wanted to celebrate with people and have an excuse for a party. Like, as silly as it may sound, I know there's a lot of people who are just so against gender reveals, and like the sex of the baby did not matter to me. Did not matter to Dean. Either way, we were just so flipping excited. Was upset that we didn't get to do that. I will be upset if I don't get to have a baby shower, because there's another party that I can't have. But I'm hoping that Victoria can get their shit together, and we can hopefully have one late November. Fingers crossed. I do live in regional Victoria, so people from Melbourne won't be able to come, which is most of Dean's dad's side of the family. But if we can just have like a little celebration, like, I will just be like happy as a clam. And then the other thing is that Dean wasn't able to go to an ultrasound appointment, and he might miss out on a few. He hasn't seen her since our 13-week scan. Oh no, we saw an obstetrician a few days later. So he hasn't seen her since then, which was like a few months ago now. And I just feel like bad for him not being able to experience it, being a first-time dad as well. Like, he helped make the baby. If I've got COVID, then he's got COVID, but I get the restrictions why. I'm not here to argue them. Like, oh, she is kicking up a storm right now. Might use the Balm Nude Beach. This is one of my favorite palettes. I haven't used it in so long. However, if I was in Melbourne, I think I'd be really upset, because you can't even go shopping. Like, the shops here are still open. You're not currently you're not meant to leave your house unless like for the 4 reasons. With the restrictions that have come and gone, I have been able to do some shopping, which has been really good. Gemma asked, how did you choose your doctoral care for your pregnancy? So we are going public. I haven't said that. I discussed this in a pregnancy update. Like there's a lot of things that I talk about in those. They're not just like symptoms, that like there's a lot of things that I talk about. We had people going private and public, and the people that went public, we were most interested in hearing their stories, and they just could not fault the public system. We also spent a lot of money trying to get pregnant. Dean actually has all of the bills and he's just too afraid to add it up. But I think that we've spent between $4,000 and $5,000 to get pregnant, seeing 2 different specialists, all the GPs, all the tests, all the medication, the acupuncture, the naturopath, like everything all added up over that time. It gets really expensive, and that's not even doing IVF. So I think that people seem to forget that we've already spent so much money to try and get to this point, and we heard good things about the public system, and we were just kind of overpaying hundreds of dollars every time we went to go see the obstetrician. So yeah, that's how we decided that. We live in a regional town and our public hospital is of really high standards. If your baby is sick when it's born, it goes to the public one anyway, or if it's born early. From the feedback I heard, I'm just like, I don't really care about staying in a nice room for like $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 after I give birth. Like, I don't really care. So yeah, that's how we did that. And I'd rather spend the money on the baby. If you were to fly to any place in the world right now, where would it be? Somewhere warm and tropical, maybe not tropical, but like somewhere beautiful. Like I've never been to the Maldives. I would love to go to the Maldives. Where would you guys want to go? I'd love to know. We can dream, right? Because we ain't going anywhere for a long time. Taking some of this darker brown color, I'm just gonna draw that on the lash line. I used to wear eyeliner like all the time, and now it just like really affects my eyes. So I much prefer to do just shadow. This is Hypnose mascara. Oh my god, my battery's gonna die. I'll quickly answer a few questions. How many kids do you want? I think just 2 would be fine. We'll just have to see how that all goes, but if we just get 1, then that 1 is going to be really, really loved. What are you most excited about for motherhood? Having a little mini me, I think. Being able to see someone grow and learn and shape them as a person. Like I'm so excited about it. I'm excited to learn and grow as well. I'm excited for what motherhood can bring to me. Do you get nervous or anxious going to each baby appointment? Like, yeah, maybe like a bit nervous. I think time has healed my social anxiety a bit. I talked about it in my most recent update as well, like about just having social anxiety, and especially like in isolation, you know, we're not going out of the house as much and it can bring on social anxiety. But I'm so much better now. Like my state of mind is so different, and I can't say that I feel anxious anymore. Before I could feel her move around, I would feel anxious about like, oh my god, at the scan, are they going to see her? Like, has she grown? Is there still a heartbeat? I definitely felt like anxious and nervous about that, but now I can feel her move and everything, so I'm not so much worried, and I'm just like, okay, it's actually working. My body's taking care of it. And she's growing, like I'm growing a baby. So I think that time has healed that for me. I know that's not an answer that anyone can just have time to deal with things, but yeah. How did you deal with announcement triggers when TTC? Last week I had an ectopic. I'm so sorry. Like, that's just like, you think like you're so close, like you think it's finally happened, and then you lose it. Like I can't, I don't know what that's felt like. I just know every month how much it hurt seeing a negative test. And to be blatantly honest, I think I have PTSD from when I was TTC and I would see pregnancy announcements. It's nothing to do with the people who are pregnant. Honestly, it's all about how you feel internally and like, why hasn't it happened for me yet? The best way that I can describe TTC is, let me just put this on. Oh, this is really pigmented. I feel like I look like a clown with this much lipstick on. Like I really don't wear that much makeup anymore. I feel like the best way that I can describe TTC for me is like you are waiting in line. I realize this is at an airport. You're waiting in line at an airport to check in and you're getting closer to the front and then people just keep pushing in. You know, people with high priority or express or something, they just keep pushing in front of you, and before you know it, you're at the back of the line again and you got to work your way down and people still keep pushing in. That's how it honestly feels, because, you know, sometimes you can be in a line and some people pushing you like, excuse me, I was next. You know, whether it's a line to check in, whether it's a line to get pregnant, like it's just, you are waiting for something. You're waiting to get on with your life. And that's how it feels. So for me, it got really, really bad about a year in, and I actually got off social media. Like I had a social media detox. Like I deactivated my Facebook. I haven't been on Facebook in, I think that was like January. I didn't deactivate it. I just didn't log on. I deleted the app. And then it was a few months later I deactivated it because I was just like, I haven't used it in a few months, like who cares? So then I wouldn't have to see people that, you know, I knew them cutting the line. It's nothing against them. It's just like, why haven't I got to the front of the line yet? Why haven't I checked in? When is it going to be my turn? And it was just getting to the point whenever I saw an announcement, I would just spiral a bit and it would just send me into depression for like a week or so, depending on where I was in my cycle, because you might see someone's pregnancy announcement and you've started your period and man, that stings. Like it hurts so much. And it's not that anyone's to know that you just started your period. It's as I said, it's nothing about them. It's just you're dealing with your own demons. And I think that even though I'm still pregnant, I'm still dealing with a lot of pain from infertility. You know, you think you processed it, you think you worked through it, but it forever lives with you. And I think that I like literally have PTSD, and in my mind I'm trying to think like, oh, you know, this person, that they should be having their second one now, or this person just got married or they got engaged, they're gonna get pregnant soon. Like I just try and prepare myself for that so that when it happens, it's not a shock. And I know people want to surprise people with the news, but for people that are TTC and they've been trying for so long, to have people that you didn't even think were trying tell you that they're pregnant, it can just really shake your world up, especially when you don't think that they might be. It's also to do with anxiety, and when you have anxiety, you're literally thinking of the worst things in your head, and I don't know, it's just, you turn into a crazy person. And so now whenever I see a pregnancy announcement, I just get that heart, like that punch in my heart, that punch in my guts. Like I don't even know why. Like, it obviously doesn't affect me that these people are pregnant. Like, I'm happy for them, but like, I just, yes. So when I was going through it, as I mentioned, just get off social media, deactivate your Facebook, get off Instagram, or unfollow people that you don't want on there, or people that get pregnant. It's fine, you deal with it. But there's certain things that you can't avoid, like people getting pregnant in TV shows. So I have these lashes here. Someone asked if I'm releasing new products for Quartz Beauty. I have had lashes sitting in my house since like March or something, and I haven't uploaded them to the shop. So I'm really sorry. These ones are in the style Emerald. Do you have a birth plan? No, I don't have a birth plan at this stage. When did you feel your pregnancy symptoms lessen? I go through a variation of symptoms. I've always got symptoms, but I think the ones that stood out to me the most were like feeling sick, especially around food and smells and, you know, morning sickness or all day sickness in general. And that probably got so much better, probably around the, I'm gonna say maybe 17 to 18 week mark. I swear, like I can't do makeup like I used to, hey. Do you think the baby will look more like you or more like Dean? Definitely Dean. It's a thing that I've noticed with people's firstborns, that they look more like their dad, and especially if it's a girl, it'll look like the dad. What's your experience with it? I've seen so many people that the kid looks exactly like the dad. So I reckon it's gonna look like Dean. I hope it looks like Dean, but it has like my little nose. So I don't know. Who knows? That is one of the things that I'm like most excited to see. Excited to see who she looks like. To see like our features smushed together and see how she changes as she grows into her features. I think that that's just like, that blows my mind that you get a baby and it's a mush of you and your partner or husband, or, you know, like, do you want to try for a drug-free labor, or do you plan to use whatever is available? I will use whatever is available. Like, yeah. I don't deal well with pain. What was your next step if the fertility treatment did not work? Did you ever consider IVF? That was going to be our next step. Probably wouldn't have happened the next cycle, but we would have teed it up to happen the cycle afterwards. If this one didn't work, we'd be like, okay, book us in. Where do we go from here? How do you stay organized and have your house so clean? Mine's a disaster. Don't worry, mine is most of the time too, especially like early pregnancy. Like I've mentioned this before, I was so sick, I didn't vacuum the floors. I didn't clean the house for over a month. I don't know why Dean didn't offer to vacuum, but he didn't. And the floors were disgusting, full of Dalmatian hair and Siamese hair. And like the house was just trash, like there was just crap everywhere. And now I'm just trying to keep on top of it. Now that I'm filming more videos, like I feel like I didn't film videos for like ages because I was just a mess. And now that I'm filming more and like more homely kind of stuff as well, I don't like this lipstick. By the way, it's a Flower Beauty one in Nude Blush. It's a little bit dark, I think. Yeah, so I'm filming more around the home, so I try and have like things a bit neater, and I'm feeling so much better as well, although things are getting harder. I have just recently got a robot vacuum, which will make my life so much easier, because if I have to mop the whole house, I have to vacuum first, and after I vacuum the house, my back's just done. So it's either I have to just vacuum, or I have to get Dean to vacuum and then mop, and he doesn't like vacuuming. So what's the motivation? Watch cleaning videos. That is my motivation. I love watching people clean their houses. I've got a few videos where I clean my house, and I think I'll do another one soon because I won't be able to do one for ages. Things are getting a little bit harder for me to do. Things can get out of control really quickly with the house and with it being messy, but if you clean as you go, that's how I've been doing it anyway. So this video is really long, so I'm gonna finish it there, but thank you so much for all of your questions. I really love connecting with you guys and just chatting in general. And I know someone asked about, will you get into doing makeup videos again? I'll do things like this, I think, but I don't get makeup sent to me anymore, and I'm not buying any new releases. So I've just got the makeup collection that I have. So as long as you guys don't mind that I'm not using the latest products, then it's all good. This is fun. Okay, well, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Bye.